I have to tell you, I want to express a view that some people don't understand, but I understand it very clearly, which is the road to City Hall runs through the Bronx. And that is true for me today, as we come together in unity, and it's a real unity, because we've all worked together. We've all worked together. It doesn't matter what happened in the primary. We've all worked together, and we know how to work together, and we will work together naturally and with energy. I also want to say a thank you, a profound thank you to the leaders here who were some of the very earliest people to support me. My very, very first endorsement by any elected official, right there, Senator Ruth Hassel Thompson. Thank you very much. And to all the leaders. Again, I want people to hear loud and clear. Doesn't matter if you were the first person to endorse me. Doesn't matter if we're coming together today. So many people in the Bronx made my victory possible in the primary, and they undoubtedly will be in the leading edge of our victory in the general election. And the issues we're talking about, the issues of equality, the fact that we need to address inequality in the city, that if we don't, it will be at our peril, that we have to change our school system so it actually serves our children, that it's time to tax the wealthy to do it, and it's time to end the stop and frisk era so we have safety and fairness together. It's time to end the dumbing down of wages and benefits that made it impossible for people to reach the middle class, and one of the people who's really focused on that is the borough president with his extraordinary support for the living wage movement. You know, all of these ideas are core to my personal vision, my campaign. They affect the Bronx deeply, deeply. And the energy we feel from leaders in the Bronx and activists in the Bronx, I think, is directly connected to the fact that folks know this vision of change will help the people of the Bronx in a very special way. And finally, I remind you, I said it in there, I'm going to say it out here. I stood there on that cold January day on my block in Brooklyn, and I uttered a phrase that some might consider shocking and seditious, but I consider it common sense. I said, all boroughs are created equal. Yeah, that's right. And it is time for City Hall to act in that spirit. And as mayor, I will do that. You're going to see me in this campaign, and as the people will have me beyond. Not just spending time here, but focusing on the issues of the Bronx. Because so many people that are the future of this city, so many people in need, so many people whose potential has not yet been tapped, reside in the Bronx. And it would be my responsibility as mayor to right some of the wrongs, to make sure City Hall is focused on people here every single day. And I just want to say a thank you to everyone who's here today. Friends, folks I've worked with for many years, and some of the folks who also really moved heaven and earth to get me here. I want to thank them, and this is a great day for our campaign, a day when we take a huge step forward in unity. Democrats in unity. Now we look forward to insightful and probing questions. Great.
Loda wants to challenge you to 5 debates throughout all of those 5 boroughs that are created equal. Are you going to join him in that? Will you debate him in those 5 debates around the city?
Well, we're going to figure out the best way to go about debates, and most importantly, the televised debate program, where obviously most people will have an opportunity to see the contrast between the candidates. They'll see plenty of contrast. But we're going to work it out with the Loda campaign, whatever model it is. It's not my place to say today what it'll be. I guarantee there'll be a good number of debates. I look forward to them.
Beyond the CFD
Again, I'm not commenting on any specifics because our 2 teams will talk. But will say this clearly, I look forward to debates. There will certainly be debates, and I think they will be very informative.
Bill, do you have any comment about our story today in the Daily News that your campaign has been asking for $75,000 to appear at fundraisers?
I don't get into the mechanics of our fundraising approach. I simply would say, it's under 7 weeks till the general election. As the borough president said, the other side is going to be very well funded with all sorts of interesting characters providing support, starting with the Koch brothers, who've obviously reared their head already. So we have to make sure we have the resources to get our message out. We're going to do that aggressively.
So is that a yes, or?
It's just what I said. I don't get into the internal mechanics of it, but we're going to make sure we have the resources we need.
How are you going to counteract lawful carry-on syndrome? Maybe Kevin Hasty, borough president, stealing votes away from the bureau.
I'll just start, and I'd love to hear what my colleagues want to add. I feel very good about the support we've gotten in the Bronx, the support we will get. I feel very, very good about Democratic Party unity. And I don't comment a lot on public polls, but if the public polls say anything, I think it's clear that people are listening to the message I'm putting out there, and that's happening especially here in the Bronx, and we feel good about where that's going to lead us.
Let me jump in here.
Hold it back.
This is like double dutch. Look, the reality is that Adolfo Carrion, while we've all worked with him, he abandoned the Democratic Party. And look at all of the Democrats. Look at the leadership this year. There's no way that he's going to put together an operation in our borough stronger than the leadership and the operation that we have standing with Bill de Blasio. Adolfo Carrion abandonó a nuestro partido. Nosotros tenemos la organización, tenemos los líderes aquí. Yo no sé en ninguna forma cómo él pueda tener una organización más poderosa, más fuerte y con más energía detrás que la que tenemos detrás de Bill de Blasio.
Amen.
And let me just add, we will have the coordination from the operation that Bill already had here in the Bronx, extended to the county organization and throughout the different clubs. So I think that we will be more than prepared to counteract anything that Adolfo plans to do or Joe Lota plans to do. Bill de Blasio will carry the Bronx. And
there was a story in today's Post about the fact that in the month since the stop and frisk ruling came down, shootings have gone up, gun seizures have gone down. Wondering, given that, what's your plan to keep the city safe?
I think that the facts are, and I want to take us back to the facts, that nothing has changed in the approach to policing, so if the numbers have changed, that needs to be examined in and of itself, but not because there's been a change in approach to policing. That judge's order just happened, has not yet been implemented, so obviously it has not affected day-to-day policing. What I have said very clearly, the judge is right. We will work with the judge. We must respect the constitutional rights of our people. We must restore the relationship between police and community. When we do, we will find so many weapons. We will get leads on so many criminals because police and community will be in constant communication and partnership. So I have no doubt that the city will be not only as safe, but in fact over time safer when we restore the proper relationship between police and community.
You aren't endorsed by any county organizations in the primary, and you still won overwhelmingly. I mean, what is the value then in these county organizations in getting out the vote if you in fact got none and you still ran away with it?
Look, a primary and a general election are two different things, and I want to say clearly that I'm really moved and appreciative of the kind of unity we've seen just in the last few days in the Democratic Party. Because as Democrats, we've also seen what it looks like when we're not unified in a general election. And a lot of bad things happen to this city as a result of that. It's not about the politics, it's about the policies that hurt a lot of people that happened because Democrats weren't unified when they needed to be. Well, I think this generation of leaders all around us learned those lessons and made sure, I think Carl made the point very powerfully, we made sure in the lead up to this primary, channels of communication were open, and that when the primary was over, people moved rapidly. And by the way, my former opponents, I give tremendous credit to Christine Quinn and Bill Thompson for the gracefulness, the mindfulness of history, the desire for unity that they showed. So the bottom line is going to a general election, it's a whole nother ballgame. And we need unity to make sure that we prevail, and we have it. Thank you, everyone.